because remember, he can be talking to somebody, but there could be a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old predator
pretending that they are 14 years old.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what the digital footprint social
Sure.
background?
Digital footprint background, it's actually we collecting phone numbers, email address, names, aliases, all those information, social media, whatever we can get our hand on, okay, regarding the net. And we're going to screen everything from the regular web to the dark web. And then from that, we have specific platform. We can see where did this email address, when it was created, where he went, what social media they are. Why I want to uncover the truth.
This movie, The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, Sound of Freedom, it's an amazing movie. Actually, it's a true story. It's based on the true story of ex-DEA agent. So he was dealing with a lot of drug trafficking and money laundries, DEA. And of course, that was his way was crossed by human trafficking, and he was doing undercover stuff and going to on the other side of the border and figure out and find some kids and help those kids to get out of those predator. It was the Mexican cartel. I think they were taking all the children and selling, doing human trafficking. So
it's a true story?
A very true story. The guy did a lot of work. He was going on his own budget. He had the support of his wife. His wife was supporting him. I think he has 5-6 children on his own. Very amazing man. And he risked his life many times to go to Haiti, doing undercover, looking for kids, taking them away from the trafficking people.
I mean, don't give me the details. I don't want you to spoil now. I'm hooked into this movie. I'm going to.
Yeah, no, you need to see this movie. It's like a revelation. And
but it shows the real. It shows.
So it showed the real story. And the thing is, those guys were he was motivated more by faith, religions, because he said that God told me to do that, to help me, to help those children. And he was doing that on his own with no money. It was a pretty interesting story. The director his name is Alexandro Monteverde. Very nice story that he put all together. And the actor, he was the actor that did with Mel Gibson the movie about Jesse Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
Amazing movie. It's actually a very controversial actor. I mean, people are criticizing him because the religions is very religious. He became very religious, and he did a great job. He was an amazing actor. His name is Jim Caviezel. Yeah, Caviezel. Yeah.
Yes, he's extraordinary.
Very good guy, And I think even Mel Gibson was involved in this movie. I think he helped to produce the movie or get the movie running. It was pretty interesting, and it is. Nobody was talking about it for years. About this, it was taboo. Nobody wanted to talk about the human trafficking, and they came up with this movie, and they had a lot of problem to find someone to, like, movie theater to even expose this movie. It was like a little weird that they had so much hard time to release this movie. The movie has been ready for years, but nobody wanted to move forward with the movie advertisement, the promotion of the movie. So I think that's why Mel Gibson jump in and he tried to move the process. But it's a must to see. It's unbelievable. And it's not a movie. I will take this more like a documentary, or historical documentary. Because everything that you see in this movie, it reflects the truth. And even the truth is much worse, because I'm sure they could not expose the truth, because it's unbearable to see what they do with those people. Okay, and I don't think it was something that could be, seeing in a movie theater. It was like more than a scary movie. Okay, so anyway, human trafficking, it's everywhere.
Look, now that you just tying up, let's tie it up. This concept of the crime organization that is behind this sad business. It's a very bad.
Well, it's the most growing business from the last decade, like 10 years. It's a growing crime organized business, growing so fast that it's so scary how fast it's growing.
What scares me the most is that, yes, we are privileged in the U.S., but the statistics are alarming. Florida is one of the top states where there is sex slavery and labor slavery. What do you think is that?
Well, because, Florida, it's people coming from all over the world, a lot of Latino. It's the party, like South Florida, Miami. People are going party, a lot of drugs, a lot of superficial beauty, dating, things like that. So that help, because when I say human trafficking is all over, it's all over, because even a 30-year-old woman can be kidnapped and sent for sex trafficking if she's a good-looking woman. And she can be drugged in the club, They put some stuff in your drink and you lose control of yourself. And before you know it, you wake up inside a container in the middle of the ocean with other women. It's the extreme stuff, but it's real. It's real. Sometimes before they kidnap the person, they already sold it. They are taking photos of girls and they have a buyer already, a psycho crazy guy looking for this kind of girls for whatever reason. And sometimes before they kidnapped, it's already, they have a client for it. So it's crazy what's going on today. That's why I always say, be careful when you go out. It could be also you're like organ trafficking. Could be anybody.
For sure. Hey, you mentioned that not necessarily these girls or boys that are a target, they are having problems, family problems. It could happen to anybody walking in any public place, okay? It reminds me of the case of this girl, Natalee Cramer. I'm not sure if you...
Yes, I heard about this case. Yeah.
So she's in the Dallas Maverick game. She's with her dad. She steps out to go to the bathroom. And on the way to the bathroom, right on the game, there is this kid that tags along out of nowhere to just offer her marijuana. And she accepts it and she goes to a parking lot. This is what I understand about the story. She accepts it, she goes to the parking lot and she gets the puff. And 10 minutes later, she's stuck in a van, raped by 3 guys or 2 guys. Hopefully I'm wrong with the facts. I want to be wrong, but this is what I understand. And then a few hours later, she wakes up in Oklahoma. Then in Oklahoma, she's a sex slave. She's raped. She's abused and used for this business that these guys were having over there. And 10 days later, she was praying to God, apparently, that she needed to find an angel. And there is this private investigator who does what we do, which is implement facial recognition. Are you aware
Yeah.
of the case? Okay.
Yeah.
So in a way, when you use facial recognition, it is something that can save a life. When you're using your technologies,
Yeah.
it can
Absolutely.
save a life. In her case, she will say, because this private investigator was able to do the work, tip the authorities, and a guy out of nowhere, a cop, he recognized her because the tip and the relationship between a private investigator and
The police department.
the police.
Yeah.
I think that's important to make.
Of course. Because, you know, when you report someone missing, especially a teenager, young girl and everything, so the police is going to look for it, but they're not going to do, I mean, sometimes, yes, they can really find and fix the problem right away, but if it takes longer than 72 hours, it goes down the forgiveness, like, you know, everybody forget about. It's not forgetting, but, you know, they have other things going, and you know how it is. One thing goes on top of the other, and they are busy, and things happen that they don't work too much on the case. So when you hire a private investigator, we do work for you, so we have a commitment. So we have tools, like you say, you screen the dark web of those platforms, or they're selling girl for prostitution in the regular web, the deep web, and the dark web. And then we do the face recognition, facial recognition, and then sometimes, most of the time, we get a match. And that's how we find a person. So then after that, first, when we have the proof, we report the crime directly to the police department. And then they have a special department for that. And those cops, that's all they do. Okay? And they're going to start working on the case. But the private investigator is still working on that. So what we do, we try to get in contact and to solicit the prostitution online on the dark web to see if we can locate her. Okay? Smart way. And then take her away from the threat. That's how it works. Takes time. And unfortunately, it's not cheap. Costs money because as private investigator, we're getting paid. We do that for a living. So we get paid by the hour. So a lot of hours can be spent on this case, and the technology as well costs a lot of money. So it's not cheap. And not everybody can afford this. And unfortunately.
Got it. Talking about movies, there is another movie that is super famous. It's Taken.
Oh, Taken.
With
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. And basically, this girl, his daughter, goes to Paris.
Yeah, she goes to Paris. She's 16 years old. She goes with a friend, and they got picked up at the airport. Remember, it's organized crime. Those guys are everywhere. They're looking for tourists. They're looking for pretty girls. They have prostitution rings. And this girl was not even thrown in the prostitution rings. She was sold to very rich people from other countries in the world.
Correct.
And just for sex, just for fun. And some, they are sent to construction site and have prostitution with men like that and getting money. They are like, it's each girl, it's a business.
The reason why
has to produce money.
Correct. The reason why I mentioned the movie, besides that, it's amazing. The acting and the directing is just one of his icon movies that are there. But it is the social engineering that is behind the interaction.
Of course.
Okay, I want the audience and I want everybody to understand that these guys are trained to pick on your mind, to pick on the subtleties of the conversation, a casual conversation. Hey, you want to go for a smoke? Or, hey, how you doing? How are you? Can you want to share an Uber? Mm-hmm. And they are super nice people approaching you, very friendly.
Very friendly and good looking. And, you know, And those in the movie that those girls got trapped because the guy was cute. Apparently, that was saying cute guy with a French accent and charming, and they went there. That's it. But again, in this movie, the people made one mistake. They got not the movie, I mean the story.
Yes.
The bad guys made one mistake.
What is it?
They choose the wrong
man.
girl. No, the
the
wrong
wrong
girl.
girl.
The wrong target. And it's funny because I'm going to talk about that a guy was arrested. He was like a predator, very predator, like crazy sick guy. And they were interviewing him, and they say, what make you choose a target? Why would you choose this one and not this one? And he said, what make me decide to go after which target? It's the father. I always look if the father can be a threat. And that's very good to know.
Wow.
Now we know that at that point, as a father, I say, yes, I want to be a threat. That's why you need to, some guys are looking more scary than others because they're like built. They have a facial very strong. They're also doing martial art. They're
training. They're
police officer. They're like military guy. What? That's a no for them because they know they might have a lot of problem. And on the movie Taken, the father of the girl was an ex-federal agent, retired, which means it's the guy you don't play around, okay? And he was doing security work, bodyguard works, and this and that. So
he was connected.
He was connected. He has a team. He has friends. He knows how to manipulate a firearm. He knows how to fight. And that's a big thing. So I always say, be a threat. Father, all over the world, be a threat.
I was going to ask you, what is because this is extremely important, what you just raised up here. So what you're saying to us is that this guy in the interview, he said to the interviewer
yes,
that they target single parents
sure,
that are weak, that they look weak.
Yes.
So not only weak in the sense of the relationship and the bond that they have with the kid, but
weak on the appearance, weak on the trend, the
strength.
The strength. Like if you are a single mother, you have more risk to be a target. Your kids are more, targeting because for them it's an easy way. They're not going to have the tough guy running after them or looking for them. And also, they're also looking for people with low income because people with low income has less resources to look for their kids because money, it's everything. So a low income person will have no resources to hire a private investigator or a private company to look for their kid. Okay. Now, people with money, they have unlimited resources, so they can hire many people. So it's more, it's a question of choice for them. They're not stupid, they're criminal. We have tendency to think that criminals are idiots. No, they're very smart. Because to be a criminal, a good criminal, you have to be very, very smart to outsmart the police and the system. So don't underestimate the crime, the criminal, and be on top of your kids. Teach your children to do self-defense. That can be saving their life. Teach your girls how to protect herself, how to get her out of a situation of a stroke or grab someone. They grab the girl because a man and a woman are going to be attacked differently. The man is going to be attacked directly, punch in the face to knock him out. A woman, they're going to grab her because they want to take her. So there is different way to protect yourself with different configuration, different situation. Work those situations over and over with your kids. Like pretend that you grab by the neck. You study, learn self-defense. Go on YouTube. You don't need to belong to a martial art dojo or anything. Go on YouTube and you can learn a lot of stuff. And put it in practice with your kids. And make it as a family fun. You know?
Family fun.
Yeah. And I recommend that. So boys, girls, wife, father, everybody need to learn how to defend himself.
That's a very good recommendation.
You know?
Especially the days that we are living right now, where
of course
not only people are targeting you digitally, but they are targeting physically as well. Mm-hmm. Anywhere in the street, there are numbers of situations that happen.
I know. It happens every day. Every day you're driving, you have a road rage, you're going out with your wife and you get someone disrespecting your wife, or you're going out, the guy is drunk and things are escalating and it's going crazy. So you don't have to fight. The best way to protect yourself is to run away from the threat, okay? Because you don't want to get hurt. Sometimes it's better to just move on. Okay, guy is after you. Oh, okay, you won't. Bye. Even if you know you can put this guy on the floor in less than 2 seconds. But avoid confrontation today, because one thing can go over another and it's bad. And the only way that you have to face the threat, it's when you have no choice to back up.
What would be your recommendation to the parents that are struggling with the kids, that they break the communication because they threat the parents that they are authoritative with them, and they basically are on their own and they can be on their own, otherwise they call the police on them and stuff. There is a dynamic of power there that parents don't know how to handle, and that is leading to a potential disaster.
Yeah, this look about education, Unfortunately, people are getting busy and busier, and they have less time for family. They don't even share a meal once a day with their family, which is a big mistake, because around a table with good food and tradition, you can share very good quality time. And it's the time to share with your family, with your kids, with your wife. And this is on the run. Less and less people do that. They were like an example. I'm going to give it to you. It's President Trump having a conversation with the president of Mexico. And I got that from the news, okay? But it looks like he came out of President Trump's mouth. So it was pretty true, I believe. He asked her, he said, how come you don't have that many junkie in the street in Mexico? How come you don't have as many drug addicts that we have here? And she told him it's because our people are more family-oriented.
Wow.
It's a shock. And it's probably true. And because when your kids are surrounded by family, they have less tendency to do drugs and stupid things.
They feel the bond.
They have more communication and more respect also, because you're a kid, you say somebody's going to offer you drugs, and if you have a very strong bond with your parents and you have communication with your parents and happiness with your family, you're going to see, I better not do that because my parents are going to be upset at me if they find out, okay? And that's also something that happened because you spending time with your kids. Or, of course, when they are teenager, they don't want to spend time anymore too much with you. They have their friends, they have their boyfriend, their girlfriends, And it's understanding because they are growing. But still, you should have at least one meal a day in family together and exchange anything like, hey, how was your day? This, that, psychologically, it's a very good therapy to talk about what happened during the day, And if you have someone to ask you that question, that means someone who's interested to know what you did.
Right.
So those are value, and people have tendency to lose that. And the kids are in the street all day. They eat fast food all day. You have overweight kids. It's about 60%, 70% of the US population. They are overweight because bad nutrition. It's funny because in the 16th century, the rich people were fat and the poor people were skinny. In the 21st century, the skinny people are the rich and the fat people are the poor. So
interesting.
You see the evolution
Sure.
of a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So
I always say that the enemy is already inside. They think that the enemy is outside. I think that the enemy is already inside. They're targeting our kids and our teens with
of course,
junky food. They are
social media, food, movies, anything. At my age, at my time when I was a kid, I was outside, biking, playing soccer, fighting. We were used to build fake sword in wood, and we used to take the garbage cover as a shield, and we used to be pretending.
The Spartans.
Yeah, we used to pretend we're like a soldier, like from the 16th century, and like a knight, and we used to fight, to have fun, man. I remember we had so much fun. And now they don't do that. They go on Call of Duty online, and they're killing each other online. You see graphic blood, they're cutting through, they're shooting each other, they're killing cops. No, it's true.
Stealing stuff from the
Stealing
street.
stuff, like
You get reward by stealing.
Yes,
for stealing
the video game
car theft.
Car theft,
Yep.
Judy or whatever, theft.
Yes.
Well, some kids, I don't know where he was. I think he was in Chicago, San Francisco. Chicago, I think it was Chicago or Philadelphia, something like that. He was identified himself as the video game. He took real gun, and he went to a police station. He shot to a police officer because he think it's normal, because he's playing this video game every day since he's 5 years old, He arrived, he's 16 years old. He don't only think he killed cops, he killed people in the street and doing things. The first thing he did when he had a chance to put his hand on a gun, he went to a police station and he shot cops.
Got it.
So this is the extreme, but it happened. So kids don't do that anymore. They don't do anything that
Keeps them away from...
They do a sport. I see a lot of kids, they do sport. But as soon as they reach 16 years old, nothing. 15, 16, done. They don't want to play soccer. They don't want to play basketball. They don't want to be in gymnastics. They don't want to be this. They don't want to be that.
It's a distraction.
They want to be on the video game. So there's practically no more outside, sport, education, sharing life with others, nothing. So I know we're busy with our work, and sometimes we don't want to be bothered by the kids. We have other things to think and do, but sometimes you need to bother the kids and be doing things with them.
And let's face it, to the audience, they are training these organizations and companies. Let's not talk about companies that are behind creating an experience for your kid to be distracted and to get shots of dopamine. Listen to this. It is addictive to get shots of dopamine. Naturally, when you play in a game, you are developing dopamine, the excitement of winning.
Of course.
But it's a chore. So they're training your brain and your body to get these shots as a satisfaction that gets you nowhere.
I agree. But look, they even find out. You see the headset that we are wearing now. Those kids, they're always online playing video game all day. They find out that the skull, the head, the skull, is deformed. So, your head should be rounded.
Correct.
But at the place where they put the
there is already a mark.
Yeah, not a mark.
It's
a hole.
A bend.
Yeah, a bend.
That's sad.
That's how bad it is.
That's sad.
It's changing our body and our posture. All the kids are like this on the phone, on the video, and they're going to work like that. And then they're seeing that children has longer finger than before because what they use always on the computer, always, it's a metamorphose and it's going slowly. And it's extreme what I say, but it's real.
Correct.
Those guys shaved the head and they didn't know. Nobody was realizing because, we have hair. But one guy shaved his head and his friend said, hey, you have a hole on top of your head. This is weird. And they find out this is exactly the same size of the headset. So
yes. As you can see, guys, we are not using anything with Bluetooth here. We take care of our ears. Bluetooth, we don't understand.
Even Bluetooth and all those headset, like hearing stuff from any brands. I don't want to name any brands, but those are radiation, that you bring to your head. Like the cell phone, same thing. It's radiation. If you measure radiation, you buy a little tool that you can measure radiation. Radiation, it's all over, like outlet. Charger, battery charger is full of radiation when it's plugged.
It's just that I want the audience to understand that we are here trying to help you proactively to take control of the risk of your child or your teen. Okay, so we are giving you tips and humbly sharing with you lots of experience that we have with Victor in the field, more than 25 years dealing with this theme. But I want also the audience to know that proactively you can also tap into what we do, which is called background checks. Okay, and why I'm going to say this is because I see a lot of schools in summer camp and a lot of places where they hire young people and they hire people to help teens and childs with the logistics of the summer camp. Not only that, but everywhere they're hiring all kinds of people, right? Restaurants, McDonald's, all these places, they hire young people. My question is, can they tap into our agency to get background checks to at least understand, I'm not talking about the background check that you go online and you pay and you get a report.
Yeah.
The difference between getting a report online and
it's different because most of the report online, they use old database, okay? All data, it's public, so it's out there and you don't even need to pay for it because you can get the information, okay? It's public record, okay? But what we do as a private investigator, we do more deep background. First of all, when we do run a background check, it's called a comprehensive background check. It tells you everything about, a lot of information about the last 10, 15 years of that person, okay? We get criminal, traffic, asset, judgment, eviction, all judgment, businesses, everything until we can even get the name and phone number of his neighbors. Okay, if you need to call the neighbors to see how this guy behaved, this and that. It's very detailed and it's nationwide, which means if you got arrested for murder in Los Angeles and you move to Florida, we will see that. Okay, now you go to a police station in Broward County and you run a criminal background, they're going to give you only what happened in Broward County. And if you go to Miami, they're going to give you only what happened in Miami.
So that's why it's so important that you talk to us about this, because the way I see it is, if I go online and I get a background check and I get a report, I might be subjective to that report. Okay, I would look into the lines and I will look through something that will basically say it's okay or not. But having a private investigator looking through a comprehensive background check will put the dots together.
Yeah. We can see a lot about a behavior of someone. Like if you've been sued by 20 people, that's a red flag. If you have liens here and there, that's a red flag. That doesn't mean you're a criminal, but it's not good. Then you can see if you have 20 or 30 criminal arrests, okay, up to 20 years ago. Domestic violence, prostitution, soliciting prostitution, bank fraud, credit card fraud, kidnapping, burglary. I mean, all the stuff. Well, maybe you don't want to be around somebody who has damaged so many issues, okay, with the law. Even if he's clear and he pay for this action, unfortunately, this is maybe not someone that you want around your kids. Also, someone who got arrested for 2-3 DUI. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, and I think, because we run background, I see it every day. Then you can see if he's a sex offender. If he's registered as a sex offender, you can see that. You can see if the guy was evicted 3 times, 4 times, and that's not somebody that you want to put on your investment property. You don't want to rent him an apartment. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can see, and we can take the time to read between the lines and tell you, maybe you should move to the next candidate.
That's the key word, read between the lines.
Yes.
A report online will not give you that.
Not too much. And what they're going to do, they're going to give you maybe sometimes what they do online like this, they mixed up the names. So a lot of people has the same name.
That's right.
Very similar names,
Sure.
Okay? Like in the Latin, Gomez, Fernandez, Rodriguez, there is thousands of people like that in Miami. So sometimes what they do when you go online, they mixed up stuff. And you lost. It's confusing. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. So we don't do that. Because our background check is more precise. Okay? There is a comparative. We always ask a few things that we can compare to make sure we have the right target, the right person. So all address, phone number, some social security, it's even more precise. Driver license number, full name, date of birth. I had happen that I had the same name twice with the same date of birth. Okay? So it's difficult. And unfortunately, those data platform that you pay $20 or $15 online, they don't recognize that. So they're going to mix up everything. So you're going to get false information. So we do, because we are not a machine. We use technology, but we are a human and we are doing the comparison,
For sure. We're also going to empower you with another thing that I want to ask, another aspect of background check. In this case, we're going to talk about digital background check. And why it's important is because to every single parent or anybody who wants to know who is your kid talking besides the app that you're monitoring. Because remember, he can be talking to somebody, but they could be a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old predator.
Pretending that they are 14 years old.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what the digital footprint social
Sure.
background?
Digital footprint background, it's actually we collecting phone numbers, email address, names, aliases, all those information, social media, whatever we can get our hand on, okay, regarding the net. And we're going to screen everything from the regular web to the dark web. And then from that, we have specific platform. We can see where did this email address, when it was created, where he went, what social media they are, who are behind that. I mean, it's very important because from those digital footprint, we notices that our client, daughter, was followed by men's 40 years old, 50 years old men, and she's 13, 12 years old. So which means a 40 or 50 years old man has no reason to follow this girl unless he's a family member.
Correct.
Okay? The uncle, a friend, and even then, I will not follow myself. I will not follow my friend, daughter. I'm staying away from that, okay? Because she's 10 years old, 12 years old. It's not something that like a mature man should do. But this is my opinion. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit too old-fashioned.
No.
Everybody has that. But excepted a family member, no 50 years old man has a reason to follow 12 years old on social media, okay? On Snapchat, especially Snapchat. 50 years old, don't use too much Snapchat. Snapchat is for young people. So already...
So that would be a red flag right there.
Of course. This is kids' communication, stuff they talk, they show photo, this, that, they meet like that, they do things, they even follow their location through that. With authorization, of course. But a 50 years old is not connected to a Snapchat. They have nothing to do with that. They're more TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, those are more the generation. Facebook is more a generation of 50, 45 years old men, okay? Snapchat, nothing to do. There is other apps that only teenagers use, and you see this guy, he's been following those young girls, and because he's fantasizing, like he's going crazy about it, and sometimes they even talk to each other, and they offer money, they offer crazy stuff. So and some kids go for it, unfortunately. So those are child predator. We have to be careful. That's why, as a parent, you should monitor your social media from the kids. There is apps that you can install on the back door of the cell phone. Since you're paying for it, you buy them a cell phone, you pay for the plan, it's your phone. You can monitor them. You can see your text messages. You can see the activity. You can monitor the time, that how many hours you allow them to be on social media. You can do that too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can give you some names, and later on we can put the link on the YouTube channel, and then you can look at those apps. Sometimes you can tell your children that you're monitoring them. So that's even, they might not be happy, but they have no choice, okay?
Correct. They have no choice.
Or you don't say anything. It's fine. But you'll be surprised what you can find. Those kids, sometimes they're sending naked pictures of themselves to other boys, other girls.
Correct.
So they can even do that with adults. So this is a bigger problem. So you got to be careful. So
the bigger picture is, to our audience, you have the opportunity to do a background check, a digital footprint background check. Why it's important is because you can see beyond the app. You can see who is connected with your kids.
Yeah.
You can see who is attempting to use different names, and that's very important. The other thing that I want Victor to talk today about is digital footprint not only will save your child from a wrongful predator. Digital footprint will help you also to understand if you are suspicious about someone who you see a weird activity. When I think about what we do here is I'm thinking about Cruz, the case on Parkland in Florida, the shooting, right? Had somebody noticed
The school shooting,
the
the
school
guy,
shooting.
the young guy, he killed
let's
I
talk
don't know how
about
many people.
Let's talk about that because this is very important. We in the community, we have to help each other. It's not about putting everything on the cops, putting everything and going and making a report. There are resources. We, private investigators, we are a resource. And we can help you by understanding someone's behavior to do your footprint. Why? Have anybody on the shooting, on the Parkland shooting with Cruz,
Yeah.
had anybody do a digital footprint, will have got all the posts, all the social media posts that he was
Of course.
posting.
Of course. It's obvious because if you see someone on social media posting too much firearm, this, unless it's a firearm dealer, it's different. It's a business. But someone always like, guns, violence, provocation, this and that, it's a red flag. And I'm saying that because I will always recommend the employee screening for when the day you want to hire someone. HR department, companies, medium and large company, they only do a background check. It's good. You do background check, you do this, you do that, it's fine. But do you do a social media background check? Do you check the social media? It's out there. It's right there. That can tell you a lot about what kind of problem you can face in 6 months from now.
Exactly.
And there is violence at work. There is sexual harassment. There is psychological harassment. There is bullies. There is people, happens every day. People go crazy. Like this guy was hired in a company. It happened like 2-3 weeks ago. It's a real stuff. It's scary. He was obsessed with a co-worker, female, and because maybe he likes her and she pushed him or whatever, she refused his advance, something like that, and then he was looking for a problem, okay? And then he was so upset at her because she was taking long, unauthorized breaks. Okay, but that's not his problem, but he was so aggravated that they were fighting all the time because he was provoking her. And he was reported to the HR, and the HR did suspend him for 1 week. They asked him to go to see a psychologist and internally with the company and this and that, and then they put him back. When he came back to the company, he was so obsessed and upset at her because whatever he went through. He came with a gun, and he shot the girl in front of everybody. And he killed her. Okay? He got arrested, but this is a red flag. And I guarantee this kind of people, you can see the behavior. You can see through background check, social media. And apparently, I don't even know if the guy went through a background check for the company. So a lot of companies are facing people with domestic violence, anger management, criminal past, firearm obsessions. I mean, I know we're in U.S. and Second Amendment is there. As private investigator, we carry firearm for our protection. We train a few times a year. By law, we have, because we have special license to carry a firearm. It's not the CCW, the concealed carry that the state allow to anybody, but we have special license to carry firearm everywhere. So it's more training. So we have it, but that's because we need it. It's like the police, the same thing, for protection or because we do a dangerous work, dangerous jobs. And not every private investigator are carrying a firearm. It's a choice. I mean, everybody has his own choice. I know a lot of PI, they don't want to touch any guns. But it's fine. Everybody has his opinion and do whatever they want. But I know with the Second Amendment, people are buying gun, rifle, shotgun, guns, and this and that. But that doesn't mean you are obsessed. Unless you show every day your gun and you're not a firearm instructor, you're not a firearm dealer, you're not a cop, you're not a security guard. Oh, those people are different because they deal with firearm. So maybe you can see one gun here and there. But if you see only guns, it might be a red flag. But this is my opinion. Now, I will give you my opinion on the background, and you make your own decision. Okay? You decide if you want to keep hiring this guy or renting your place or having this nanny watching over your kids. Well, we talk about nanny, but sometimes people are hiring a nanny because they want to go out or they need help because they have many kids. And do a background check. Do a very deep background check on those girls on those people, because they're going to be around your children a lot. They can be bad.
That's exactly why we are trying to, again, proactively look for solutions that you can implement right away instead of waiting for a disaster to happen.
Exactly. A lot of people have a tendency to think about private investigator. When you tell someone, say, hey, what do you do for work? I'm a private investigator. Private investigator. Oh, cheating spouse, this and that. You're watching the woman, the guy, and this and that. Yes, it's part of it, but this is not all we do. Like for my agency, we do about 30% of our business. It's domestic, like cheating, family related. And when I say cheating, I also say child custody investigation. For me, it's the same emotional problem. I do also alimony, child support, and cheating spouse. Okay, when we do cheating spouse, we're chasing people to see if they behave, and which is a lot of time they behave. I'll be honest with you, and a lot of time they don't. Or we catch them. It's a little funny, but it is. It's reality. It's part of the game, but private investigator don't do only this kind of work. I mean, some are doing mostly that, some doing other things. But I choose to diversify my business because I don't want to put all my eggs in the same basket. So I like to get a little bit of different kind of investigation work.
For our audience, how long does it take to do a background check and a digital footprint background check?
I will say up to 5 business days.
Okay.
That's what I do. Sometimes faster, sometimes a little longer, but I would say between 5 and 7 business days. We can get something going on. Okay.
And on the digital background check, do you check deep web, dark web?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because the digital footprint is also can tell you if your email is being used and on the dark web, which means somebody is hacking your information.
Correct.
So that helps to protect yourself. So if you see that this email is being used on the dark web to do stuff, well, maybe you need to close your account. If it's a Gmail, close the account, get another email, and it's going to happen. That's why sometimes you need to change emails, okay? And I always recommend, do have like 3 emails, okay? One for promotion, commercial, like when you go to Macy's, you give this email. When you go to Forever 21, you give this email. When you know, like commercial, like whatever things you're doing through advertisement or shopping. So use one email for that. The second email, use it for family member only. So that's something you share only with your family. And the third email, it's professional, like business, work related. Usually it's how you call those emails? The one
aliases.
You pay for it, like professional email.
Oh yeah, work domain professional email.
Domain email. You know, so This is a little bit more professional, more secure. Okay, and then get a Gmail for advertisement and shopping and things that not very important related, and get another one for the family only, because maybe you have family business that you need to share, and you don't want that outside.
For sure. So we have covered a number of proactive ways that you can take control of the situation with your child, with your family, with exchanges around you, workforce, schools, everywhere. You don't have to wait for a disaster to happen, because you can just basically, you have the resources. And we private investigators, we are a resource for you.
Yeah.
And we invite you to contact us if you suspect of someone who is acting strange, who is posing a risk to you, to your family, to your kid.
Of course, sometimes I get a phone call from someone who say, hey, can you do a background check on my neighbor? Okay, yes, why? Oh, because I think I had problem with this guy and this and that, and, I don't know who I'm dealing. He's doing party every night, throwing very big party. There is drugs, and I had that. I had this guy in Miami Beach, was neighbored with another big mansion guy, and he was like a crazy guy. He was doing party all night, and my client is a family man, worker with kids, and and we did a background check and everything, and down the road he had until like fight, not fight, but they were arguing together. He called the police on him. He called the police, and I told him, I say, we did a background, digital footprint. We did a lot of work. And I say, I think this guy, I'll be honest with you, is doing laundry money. And my client say, well, how come? I say, according about everything we see, I guarantee this guy is doing laundry money. I tell my client, I say, don't spend more money. Don't do anything. Something is going to happen soon. This guy is going to be indicted, because the way all his companies and all his businesses are structured and what kind of currency he's doing, I guarantee is laundry money. I was 100% right. 3 weeks after, the client called me, say, Victor, you were right. He just got picked up by the DEA and the FBI. They read the house. It's all over the news. You can tap his name and you can see the publication that he's been arrested for laundry money with cryptocurrency and fraud and embezzlement and everything. I say, I told you. Why? I didn't see any. And at the time I was investigating the guy, he was already investigated by the Fed. Okay, I had no exterior contact with the Fed, or I didn't even talk to any of my contact in the federal department. I just see the character and all the businesses that he was doing, what his criminal past and everything. And the way he was doing, I say, he's going to be indicted for laundry money. I guarantee, don't spend any more money on him. Don't ask me to do more work, because the federal government is going to do the job for you. It's going to take him away. They're going to seize the asset. They're going to sell the house, and you might have a better neighborhood. And it's true, and it was true. And I was happy because I helped him. I helped him to understand who he was living next to who he was living.
Yeah, it is important to be situational aware, safety aware, and be prepared.
Yeah.
Do not walk thinking about things. Do not walk with earphones when you are on the street, when you are in a public place. Be able to be present. You need to be present at all times, because the unexpected can happen in a second. You can train all your life. You can do self-defense all your life, but you're training for those 30 seconds of survival.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is important to be present.
Of course. It's like everything. The world is a danger. It's true, we live in US, we live in the other countries where there is law and order, everything is fine, but it's not that fine. The danger is everywhere. This world is not friendly for us at all. we have tendency to forget that why we are in good shape now, why we're living good, is because we're smart. We adapt. We protect ourselves. Look, everything around us is protection to protect our body. We have clothes on us. We're not supposed to have clothes, but we have clothes now, so we don't freeze. We don't, we have hygiene. We have a lot of stuff that originally this world is not friendly. This planet is not friendly with us. Like if I drop you in the middle of the Amazon, okay, or in the middle of the desert, or in middle of a very tough environment, with no clothes, no shoes, no medication, no health, no car, nothing, you won't survive more than 2 days. You will be killed by other animals, okay? You will get hurt. You will get an infection, okay? You will die, all right? Today, we have medicine. We have antibiotic. We have penicillin. We have vaccine. We have medication. Without that, we won't be able to survive. We have tendency to forget that we are so fragile. And everything around you can be a danger. So you have to be aware of what is your surrounding. It's true. You have to learn how to protect, defend yourself, because, I always say that I know a lot of people there against firearm. Firearm is not the problem. The problem is it's the person who's using the firearm. The firearm is not going to shoot by itself and kill someone in the street.
Correct.
It's the person who's using the firearm. It's all about education. It's all about knowing how to use a firearm. That's going to avoid many accidents. So I am not against firearm. I am for firearm with good mind, good attention, and protection habit. We have the Second Amendment right. We have to use it. I think it's great. There is a phrase that they say, there is many sentences there that always, I prefer, some people say, I heard that a few times, say, I prefer to carry a firearm on me it's easier to carry a firearm on me to protect myself than a police officer. Well, I mean, it's an image, but it's true. If you're in danger, you call the police, okay, they're going to come, they're going to help you, they're going to save you, but maybe yes, maybe not. Maybe it's going to be too late.
Correct.
And there's another phrase we say also, I prefer to be judged by 12 than carry by 6.
That's celebrant. That's very... yes.
That's true. And if you have a situation of self-defense, you have to protect yourself and you shoot someone, a bad guy who come to your house and try to steal your valuable and kill your wife and rape your wife. And so you're in your house, you have a firearm, you use it, you kill the guy, but you still have to go to court. Even if it's a self-defense situation, you still have to go to court. So you are going to be judged by 12, no matter what.
That's why, no matter what. That's correct.
Yes, correct. And it's going to cost you minimum $20,000, $30,000, even if you are the good guy. Okay? So that's why there is insurance that can help you to cover those expenses. They have special lawyers for firearm incident, self-defense situation. And they can cover you up to $1.5 million. It depends on the insurance you take. So it's America. There is insurance in case you shoot someone for self-defense, not because you're a criminal. It's not going to cover you. But it's a liability. There is those insurance. It's affordable. I always recommend, if you want to carry responsibly a firearm, carry a firearm. Better to be in control of your life and in control of the situation when you're in danger than depending on other.
Have you dealt with any sex slave survival? And have you been hired to find the perpetrators?
Yeah, we did. But this, we're going to talk about it in the next chapter
So
of this
there's
episode.
part three?
Part 3, yeah,
Okay.
because there is so many things we can talk about that. And I think that's going to help people to understand more about the situation of everyday situation that's surrounding them. Okay.
Awesome. This is it promised to be part 3, and it's going to be incredible
Yeah.
because
Of course.
knowing the details.
What I want to do, I want to bring also maybe in part 3, I want to do bringing one of my friend who is a police officer.
Okay.
He's a captain from North Miami Beach Police.
Great.
And I want him to come and be one of our guests, because then you can have an understanding of what's
The
going
interaction
on.
between
Yeah.
private investigation and the police.
And the police officer,
efforts.
they're dealing with much more than us.
Correct.
Regarding those kind of crime too sometimes, because for them they're not getting hired by a private party. It's a duty they have to help the community, because that's what they do.
This has been an incredible episode. We have been here for a while. We want to dedicate this episode to Natalee Cramer for her bravery, to the private investigator who was able to find her
Sure.
and tip the police. I thank you for your time. I know that it's been crazy on your
Okay.
end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and watch your back. Be careful. You're surrounded, and watch your back. Watch your kids. This is what you need to do.
Be safe, be
And be
present,
safe.
and stay alert. Until then, see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.